Hello and welcome to Hardcast. Join us for a timey-wimey conclusion to our Doctor Who knockoff. I'm Humphrey Erm.
And I'm Christian Claus.
Lifeline. Give me Ivar, Timewalker, Volume 3, Ending History.
Issue 9. We join Ivar and Armstrong right before they set off the boom, or the boon, and pretty much the entire Valiant universe. Right as Aram lunges towards Ivar, a portal opens and Ivar is pulled through it by Neela, speaking filler text. No, literally filler text. In an unexpected turn of events, it seems that Neela has now taken the mantle of Timewalker and is explaining things to the now fledgling Ivar. They escape their current world filled with clown Vikings, a much more believable ancestry of Humphrey's, and appear in a white world with floating figures talking about imprisoning him. But before we get any more information, Neela is pushing on. They go through a world where it seems the Native Americans dominate the Whiteys and do their exposition talk while my eyes glaze over. In the newest world, Neela leaves Ivar after he says some sexist things and is captured by rat-looking humanoids, but is saved quickly by Ivar. Neela starts screaming, which attracts the Legion, who come, tear down the tree she's in, and reveal themselves to be dinosaurs. T-Rexes riding Triceratops. I just can't.
So, the artist got to what's called take an easy time in this issue.
What do you mean? You're speaking ironically?
No, I don't know. I mean, I'm looking and comparing the pages, and they seem to be exact copies of the first Archer and Armstrong issue.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah, I was checking.
You mean like that? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's not just like the scene, but I think it's the actual panels. I can't have two PDFs open at once on my Surface with this PDF viewer. So I'm kind of like going quickly back and forth, not like flipping, but kind of like, okay, this seems beyond just the same composition.
Again, you should download Adobe Acrobat.
I suppose I should.
I mean, you have it. You have the Pro version with your Creative Cloud, so you might as well.
True.
Anyway, but I think they compensated for it because of the massive amounts of just weird shit that they had to draw. And like think about it like this: like how do you compose composite a T-Rex on a Triceratops in Roman outfit, by the way?
Yeah, no. Again, I was just teasing a bit there, but just kind of cool seeing the first 4 pages being the exact 4 first pages of Archer and Armstrong. Yeah, no, but yeah, to me, it's just very interesting here with the whole fact that, because we know something happened to Ivar from the very first A&A issue.
Yeah.
And we know then he came back later, in the volume 3 of Archer and Armstrong. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he finally escaped the prison. And it's just so interesting to see, because this is a few years between. So it's not like just something that might have been planned, but it wasn't like, oh yeah, last issue. It's like, no, this was like years in between, enough for people to forget and not really think about.
Yeah, but I think, especially with the Boon being such an important part of the Valiant universe, as I said in my little description there, that was very haphazard. It did start off the Valiant universe, kind of. I mean, if you look at the Anipada brothers, they are pretty much the quintessential and I feel most important characters in the long run of the Valiant universe.
Oh no, definitely.
Right. So their start is very important. So I'm pretty sure that the first thing the writers did was like, all right, here we go. Now this is the basis of our universe. One guy dies and his 2 brothers, react. One of them wants to, revive him with this special thing that malfunctions. And this is how these 3 characters are going to seemingly live forever. How are we going to do that? And I think right there, someone was like, all right, well, how about, it doesn't even have to be as much as this girl that Ivar is going to save in the future is going to come back and create some weird time loop and save him here so he doesn't get hurt by the boon. I doubt that. It would just be something that someone threw out there. Ivar gets saved by someone through a time hole and he becomes a time walker. That's it. That's all it needed, because then he can kind of sling it around then later, you know?
Oh, no, certainly. Yeah. I mean, again, it definitely must have been planned in some form. As you said, like the specifics probably weren't.
No.
But still, I just like stuff like this. And what's nice about this, it's kind of like a more natural, quote unquote, retcon. Again, it's not a retcon because there was this doesn't change anything that we didn't know already.
Right.
But a lot of Marvel and DC comics have that where, we had a very simple scenario where Spider-Man got bitten by a, radioactive spider. And it's, just a freak accident. And that's how the stories are told, for decades. And then someone wants to deconstruct it a bit and think back and be like, well, what if it wasn't an accident? And this is kind of like that kind of scenario. And again, it's not, it's not at all on the same level, but it just feels so good because it's something that's happened. We know it happened. Mm-hmm. And now we kind of got to see the explanation for it again, while it kind of gets more or less complicated with the time travel as it always does. Because again, this is the same issue I always have with any time travel story. Like how could this have happened, like the time travel thing, if he would have died there otherwise? And
dude, we don't even need to start talking about the time travel stuff.
You know what? You're right. Yeah.
You know, anyone who's listened to this podcast for any longer than 10 episodes or something like that, anytime we talk about time travel, we mention this. And so I'm done with mentioning it. Time travel is stupid and it doesn't make sense. So the only way you can enjoy these kind of stories is by just accepting what they do and just flow with it. And the good thing about this comic right here is that it's not one of those time travel stories where it's so obviously wrong. I can't even think of an example of a really bad time travel story.
Last volume? Huh? Last Ivar volume?
No. I mean, I'm just thinking about a movie or something like that where the time travel was just horribly stupid.
I mean, Back to the Future 2 is usually a good example of that because, again, if they go to the future, then how are they seeing themselves in the future? I mean, this future should be a future where they just disappeared on that date.
Yeah, but with stuff like that, it's kind of like parallel universe stuff and stuff like that. But yeah, anyway. But see, oh man, we're talking.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, let's just skip it because we've already discussed it before. Check out
time travel is a weird thing that we just have to accept when it comes to story. I mean, I love how just Doctor Who does it. It's timey-wimey, and that's it. That's the explanation. Just forget it. Let's just go and enjoy our time.
So, but anyways, but speaking enjoying things, I don't know. There's something very amusing, I feel, about the whole what's called Native American future.
Yeah, I love that.
But it's just kind of amusing, I feel. It's not in terms of that would never happen or whatever, but it's just so on the nose. I mean,
did you think it was on the nose? Because I thought it was kind of, for the first couple of pages, it was kind of subtle.
Well, I think it's maybe when you see the whiteys.
Yeah.
Because it's such an obvious parallel with the Redskins and stuff like that.
Yeah. I kind of liked that though, because I was looking at the buildings and that's weird. Okay, it looks like, and then I kind of looked at the people in the background. I was like, wait, are those Indians? And then you see them playing lacrosse, and I'm like, oh my god, this is oh my god. And then I see the whiteys. I'm like, oh my god, this is actually this is so cool. I wish they could have spent more time there. That would have been hilarious.
So yeah, it was just little things. I mean, you see, if you look at the food as well being served.
Yes, they're eating corn and everything is so
good. For me, it always gets this whole okay, this is obviously this separate universe, but is this a stereotype to have it be that's all they're eating?
No, it's the the food that you have
it's
then
the stadium food.
Stadium food.
Instead of those footlongs and stuff, it's just these.
Yeah, corn on the cob would be a perfect thing because you just bite it. And I love how, like, if you look at the menu in the back, they have like, what is it? Corn, root beer, deer, chili.
Yeah, no, that's what I was referring
fries.
to. Yeah.
Ah, so good.
So, and also the what's called bathroom symbols too.
Yeah.
So, which again, I'm no. What would you call it? Not a historian, because these things should still exist, I guess, in that sense. But yeah, I'm not aware of symbols within that within this culture. But it's still just kind of a nice little thing to have in just a few pages.
Man, wouldn't it be amazing? I was actually going to say, like, wouldn't it be amazing if you could have this scene in a movie? But then I realized there's probably not enough Indians around to actually fill a stadium.
Oh, dude, that is...
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I bring it down?
Yeah, it was just the most...
We're going to have to get people like me who are like 1/8 Native American and be all like, no, I'm an Indian. I'm okay. See, we can say that word.
No, but you'll have the exact same stuff there, though. You'll have all the oppressed white people in this universe.
Yeah.
There'll be all these what's called native guys going around like, no, guys, I'm like 1/8 white.
Yeah,
it's okay. Now it's fun. I'm actually surprised there was a native guy in the mascot costume. Thought it was going to be more of an amusing thing that he has to kind of. It's a white guy having to be himself.
Right.
Because obviously white people exist in this universe.
Yeah.
Maybe they're just some kind of like fictional idea.
Well, maybe they pushed them away, so they're all back in Europe where they belong.
Anyways, but again, it's fun, and I love time travel stuff like that, where it's just a what if scenario.
Yeah, it's just a quick. Like, I love how they're just like literally just walking through to get to the next time hole thing, whatever it's called, and they don't really do much with the people. Like, they don't really interact much, but you get to see little snippets, and it's really nice. Yeah, I really love it.
Well, it gets to do with this whole thing without being a major, like, again, it makes a point, but it's not the main like purpose of this volume in that sense, like of the main story.
Yeah.
So it's just an interesting thing because it could have been anything really. I mean, it's just exposition. Right. It could have been in any other kind of like crazy, parallel universe.
So can we talk about the filler text?
Yes.
Do you think that was supposed to be a joke?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think my problem with it is the fact that it's the same start of everything.
Well, it's always because that's my problem. Because if I have often used that lorem ipsum, filler text for some of my design stuff for work and stuff like that. But what I always do is I continue it.
Exactly.
Right. So like I don't start every paragraph with lorem ipsum just so it kind of looks nice. And I'm thinking either they made it as a joke, but to see that with the last time, like with the last Ivar volume that we read, when they were in Germany, when she didn't have her translator thing yet, they were actually speaking German.
Well, again, I think I think in this case, it's more the fact that the Ivar isn't speaking English. He's speaking like Sumerian or something.
Yeah.
So I think in this case, then if he's then, well, I don't know. I guess it's the whole idea is that for him, this language of English that she would be speaking is just so foreign to him, which is the idea.
Okay. I get that.
So right. Like, I mean, the guys running in there, they could have might as well been. I forget, where are they? France or?
No, they're in England. I
mean, right, England. Yeah, sorry,
I forgot. When the Vikings were attacking England.
True, but then that's the whole thing. There's a translation thing.
Then that would make sense because I was thinking to myself, well, they're priests, so they could be speaking Latin, right?
Well, again, I think they should have done like you said. I mean, again, it might have been on purpose, or it might have just been an oversight. But if as you said, continued it, then we just assume that okay, they are saying different things all the time. Reading it like this, it feels like she's repeating herself all the time.
Right.
Which I'm sure she isn't. I'm sure she's, trying to explain the stuff she explains on the next page.
Unless, wouldn't it be hilarious if they actually just put it in there and be like, all right, well, what are we going to do? Because she's supposed to be speaking English to him, but he's not supposed to understand it, but we're supposed to understand what he says. So how do we do this? And then they were just like, oh, well, I just put filler text in there for now, and then we'll take it out later. And then they never did.
Fred Van Lente!
I mean, yeah, I didn't think about it at all that actually she's speaking English and he's just not understanding it. But then again, I feel like, see, this is the problem with these language things that I always get so frustrated with in movies as well. Like when you have like a bunch of Germans in like a World War II movie standing around talking English in a German accent. And you're just like, wait, are you speaking German now, or are you speaking to each other in English, but with like an accent that you should be having? And then I don't know, and then you have like, I just think it's so frustrating. That's why I wish subtitles were more of a thing. But yeah, I think here in comics it's kind of hard to. I mean, I've seen they've done that a lot with those brackets, those HTML brackets that they use, like those that they kind of add those to say this is not in English. I don't know. It's just a weird convention because I think we're talking too much.
Yeah, but this was a special case as well.
Yeah, this was a very special case. Yeah, and again, we're nitpicking things that go over like two pages.
Yeah, true.
So let's just move on. Let's go to the clown Vikings.
I honestly don't have much to say there. I mean, you made a little jab at me there in the intro.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
And again, it's very quick, so it's not much to really say. Though I do say I have to like the horns.
Yes, I don't.
I mean, this is something where I really do wish I could hear it. I mean, I don't want to hear it, but...
Have you ever seen that Vine or that video where someone, those dog toys, the screeching ducks?
Yeah, I have one of those.
Yeah, but there are these new ones that they while they're breathing out, they make the noise, right? So if you squeeze it, it goes, and then when you let go, it goes, something like that, right?
Yeah.
And so this guy, he did it with one, and it was like a weirdly weird noise, and there was like a whole basket of them, like one of those huge cages, like that you get like in department stores or something like that. He just pushes his hand down, and you can just hear them all go. And he just lets go and runs off while they just scream so loud. It's crazy.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's just, but honestly, and this is not me trying to be like defensive about, they're making fun of Vikings.
Yeah, well.
But I just feel, in this case, it just feels a little too, well, aren't we silly?
Yeah.
Like, honestly, because like the Native American thing, I felt was more interesting because it's like this flip. With the like Viking clowns, it would have been more if they were like, I guess it would be hard to depict something, but if they were more like Englishmen, like very like proper British, like gentlemen. Again, it's not, this is of course much more in your face. It's quicker. It works. But personally, for me, it was just kind of like, kind of lazy. And like clowns are by definition silly. So mixing anything with a clown makes anything silly. It's not that hard. But it's fun. I like the honking.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's a very tight volume this time, so not really sure what else to discuss because the dinosaur stuff will be more prudent in the next issue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally.
Issue 10. After having been captured by the Dino Romans, Ivar is sent to the gladiator arena, where he meets a Dino prisoner named Ankh. Neela is taken to the Roman leader because they believe her to be the mistress due to her similar appearance, where she discovers a device left by her future self. Ivar and Ankh fight in the ring and manage to survive by their wits alone, while Neela is put in an assassination trap by a herbivore, for all of it only to end with a giant meteor hitting the Earth. I had a hard time summing this issue up. It's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, true. And not necessarily always the most interesting stuff.
Well, again, a lot of interesting things, like specific events, but so much talking, and it's hard to summarize it without just saying what they're saying.
Right.
But again, this is just amusing. It's dinosaurs and then little caste system within with the dinosaurs, between herbivores. It's Zootopia.
Oh, God. Or Zoomania, as it's known in Europe.
No, Zootropolis.
Oh, Zootropolis, that's one. What was Zoomania?
Don't know.
Huh. I just know that, was it Moana?
Yeah, that had to change the name to Vaiana.
Yeah, do you know why?
Because of an Italian porn actress or something.
Yeah, isn't that so weird?
Yeah, I mean I guess whatever works.
Yeah, I guess you don't want Italian children to be Googling Moana and finding a porn actress, I guess.
Well, people had similar concerns when like Pokemon X and Y came out.
Yeah.
Remember people were like, oh God, people are going to search for Pokemon X.
Ugh.
And I never heard it. I didn't even hear like people like trying to joke about it in terms of like, oh, this happened. So.
Yeah, but like, I mean, Pokemon X, I mean, wouldn't it have to be Pokemon XXX?
Well, maybe the kid, accidentally held down a few too many.
Okay.
I don't know. It's just something I heard people joking about.
Yeah.
Oh, but speaking of like, well, not really speaking of sexual deviancy or so, but I don't know. There's just something about that page 15 there. So
I don't know which one.
With the Triceratops.
I combined all my pictures again.
Okay, now it's just when they defeat the gorilla. So, and like, praying guy got squashed. That's bad. He was a child predator. That's good.
Right.
Oh, God, it's just such a great... But the thing is, I love that line because it just... Not that it opens up questions, because if this is, just Romans but dinosaurs...
Right.
We'd assume they have the same kind of like issues, vices, and values that our Romans did. But it's just, I don't know, like when you see that Triceratops, it's just like, oh God, what did he do?
Well, there's only one thing he was doing. There's not only one thing he was doing with those horns.
Oh man.
Takes sodomy to a whole nother level. I'm sorry. We're an over 18 podcast, right?
I think so. I don't know. Does it say so?
Okay. Yeah, I think it says somewhere. Wait, you haven't been putting that tag on there, Humphrey?
Oh no, all the children have been listening to our Valiant.
Yeah. So anyway, but I mean, I think the problem right here, what we're having right now is while we're discussing about other stuff, it's just that there's not really much to say about this issue. I feel it's one of those issues again, and I feel like we're seeing more and more of these. It's just a solid issue. There's a little bit a lot of talking. That's kind of a little bit annoying because it's a lot of just back and forth of, oh, we're in this new time, and oh, I don't know what we're doing, and oh, this is weird, and then. But it's good, you know what I mean? Like, we can't say anything bad about it because it's not that that's what we're here for, but there's no discussion material because all we can say is like, yeah, it's good. Let's move on.
No, but exactly. And it's like we keep saying too, it's, that's why we're reading them as volumes rather than having like once a week or once a day having one issue of a series.
Yeah, could you imagine reading this just this and then having to talk about it? I mean, we'd have to go into all these things like, look, tigers are gladiators, and why is this one dinosaur the Caesar, and how did the Tyrannosaurus Rex get anything done if they have such small hands or arms or whatever?
No, but exactly. I feel it's, of course, again, depends on what kind of comic it is. Like if we, for whatever reason, wanted to review or discuss the weekly Donald Duck comic, for example. I mean, that would have separate little stories that we could discuss each, and every so often there would be a two-parter.
Right.
So that's like, if I don't know who wants to listen to a Donald Duck podcast about, oh, should I buy this week's Aquanka?
Right.
I better check with these two guys first.
I always love how you say Aquanka, even though for you it's Kalanka.
Well, so you know what I mean.
You always... I know what you mean. I know Donald Duck, I know Kalanka, and I know Akuanka. But I just think it's a nice sign of respect that you always use the Finnish name.
Well, you were Don Rosa's favorite.
That,
I mean, he never made an adventure about Swedish mythology or anything.
Wait, did he make the Kalevala? He did make the Kalevala, didn't he?
Yes, I thought you knew that. Yeah, he did the Kalevala comic.
Yeah, I totally put that. I forgot about it. Yeah, well, the only thing is because the Swedish one is like all part of the Norse mythology anyway, and everyone's done that to death, and who gives a shit?
Exactly, it's not so unique. I mean, again, it's unique, but not. Yeah, it's not. As you said, it's Nordic, so it's like Denmark, Norway, and Sweden.
Yeah, everyone knows Thor and Odin and stuff like that, but no one knows Ukko or Ahtola.
Because no one can pronounce it. I will say one thing, though. I mean, we'll see more of her in the later issues. So, but Ankh immediately is like a very, I'm not going to say gripping character, but they, well, I guess a bit of a mini spoiler, but they sell her very well here.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, it's like, okay, we have another prisoner. You immediately have sympathy for a prisoner.
Yeah.
And yes.
I mean, especially because it's kind of funny, especially that he was a child predator line that she gave. That was just kind of a nice, I mean, it felt like she's not only just like this tough prisoner that we don't really know, but she's also charming in some sense.
Yeah, and it's also just nice with, this is the thing one always jokes about, again, we'll discuss this more, I guess, in the issue where it's revealed.
Yeah.
It's just kind of nice when you have a female character that, you know, is just a creature, so to speak. So, no, but like you've always seen those jokes people have with like character creations in games. You know, well, you know, like you have like the male orcs and, you know, like hulking brutes, and female orcs, humans but with tusks.
Right.
And that's usually what people
like. You have the figure of a human supermodel, basically.
Exactly. Like it's always you always do that because you want to always make sure that they're appealing in that sense.
Right.
While the males can always be like, oh yeah, it's just the weirdest things.
Oh my god! Yeah, you've probably seen enough Star Trek to see the Klingon women, right?
Oh yeah.
Have you seen the Klingon woman sex scene?
Well, I saw the rape scene.
Oh yeah, the rape scene. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That was disgusting on so many levels.
So I didn't know how to feel sitting there, kind of like,
yeah,
I'm so uncomfortable right now.
Right, but you had the luxury of watching it alone, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I had to watch it with my girlfriend. And we were just like, okay, all right.
Well, you know, we're kind of going back and forth between different subjects here, but on that note, I gotta say I do respect I haven't finished the Discovery, but I do respect to have that as a plot element, because female on male rape is very rare.
Yeah.
Again, specifically female on male, because, you know, prison rape and stuff, that's a common subject.
Well, it's a common joke, which is also very sad.
Oh, yeah, but still, regardless, at least it's, you know, mentioned, so to speak. I'm not saying it's good that
Which is also just, isn't that kind of ironic that I just said that, even though I literally just made a rape joke just a couple minutes ago?
Yeah, but they were dinosaurs. They don't count.
Okay, they don't count. Well, he did just say child. He didn't say child dinosaur. Oh, wait, they don't have humans here. Okay.
Yeah, true. Yeah, they think they've been shaved. That, too, is just nice lines. Like, yes, Wes, they are met. What does she say?
Why did you shave everything but your head or something like that?
Yeah. Where was it?
Yeah, they only left a bit of fur on top of your head there.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Yes. Yeah, but again, it's just fun stuff like that. I love when another, like, majority creature, you know, kind of, like, pokes fun at us humans, because, you know, we see everything as humanized. You know, we put our face on everything.
Right.
It's just fun having these, you know, dinosaurs being like, oh, man, that poor guy's been, like, shaved.
Yeah, but it's also interesting how, just like how, again, we kind of spoiled it a little bit now, the fact that that Ankh is actually female, because they mentioned it a couple of times. Like, if you don't have, what was it, boobs and long hair?
Yeah, boobs and hair.
Yeah, boobs and hair, you can't even recognize us as female or something like that.
Which means we get our first Valiant topless scene.
Oh, Jesus. I was thinking, like, wait, we haven't even gotten to that sex scene yet. But no, you were talking about the...
Yeah, no, this came before.
Yeah. Did you ever get any Hulk and Thor flashes while you were watching this?
Oh, like from like Ragnarok in that sense.
Which I haven't watched it. It's out on DVD now though, and Blu-ray.
I mean, I watch it because it's Marvel, but personally, for me, it's like the weakest of all MCU films.
Really?
But that's me because I didn't like the tone. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it.
Well, I was thinking about watching it tonight, but you and I are going to be playing Monster Hunter tonight, so
yeah,
I'll see if the girlfriend will want to watch it maybe on Friday or this weekend. Then
I mean, if we're talking about like beautiful men in a film, then I think she'll like it for that reason.
You mean I'll like it too? God, I love those beautiful men.
It's not for your eyes, Chris. It's for the female gaze.
Yeah. Well, speaking of beautiful men, Humphrey, here's another thing. Watch Queer Eye.
That still exists.
They brought it out new on Amazon. On Netflix. They have a new series. It is the best. We binged 8 episodes like in 2 or 3 nights.
Damn.
It is so good. I mean, I love that show so much. So much so that we were actually thinking about nominating you for season 2.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. But I couldn't find a place to nominate you. I think it's like a casting call. I think they go to like, because they were all in and around Georgia.
Yeah, kind of far away from Georgia.
Yeah. But I thought that like.
Wait, which Georgia? Like the American one or the like this the nation Georgia?
No, the American Georgia.
Sorry, I'm guessing all these like Slavic people.
Like they have the Adidas tracksuit and they squat a lot. That's what they're trying to fix.
Fix that up all right now. Do you have anything
You're gonna
else?
want to stand up straight. Oh god. Anyway, seriously, watch it though. It's so much fun and it's so nice. We're actually I've fallen in love with like all those guys. It's amazing. And yeah, so I think that what they do is they get to a certain area and then they kind of set out this casting call like a normal casting call would do. So I don't think there's like a website where you can go and nominate someone. Otherwise, we would have totally nominated you. But maybe you can learn something from watching it. It's such a great show. You gotta watch it.
Many things to watch, but I will.
After finishing our sponsorship for this episode, seriously, Netflix, you might as well just give us a little bit of money, just a cent, just so it means something to us.
Probably cost us more to get that cent.
Yeah, probably.
Gotta go through the whole process to get that cent out of it.
Yeah.
PayPal low fee. Anyway.
Should we move on?
Yeah.
All right. Issue 11. Ivar and Neela are now in a space where they can see all the different timelines of Ivar. Another eye-glazing moment for me, which is suddenly interrupted by sex. Well, the next part is kind of weird. Neela kills herself and thus makes Ivar able to get out of the bubble universe they were trapped in. So then Ivar meets the dinosaur from before again, and they set out to destroy the Null. The people in robes appear again and seem to have a lot of power, one even mentioning that they could have saved Neela. They're hunting Ivar because he's a threat to the timeline. Before the issue is over, we see the Cybermen of the Null talking to the quote-unquote camera, and they reveal that now Neela has become her evil self.
Bum, bum, bum.
And it dawned on me that the metal part of her head is where she shot herself.
You didn't realize that until now?
I didn't. When I saw it, I was like, oh my God, I should have realized when she shot herself that was like why her face is like all metal on that side. But I mean, again, I don't think I'd take the time to just really enjoy it like you would a really good meal, you know? It's like one of those things where I'm just kind of reading through it. Like if I'm eating while I'm watching a TV show and then before I know it, the food's gone. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I guess that was good. And so at the end, then when they kind of like pulled back and I saw that it was like, cause they were also kind of mentioning it, I was like, oh shit, right. That's so smart. And again, this is what I kind of love about time travel, but also hate about it, is that there's such a loop that then you can kind of give this dramatic irony. Is it dramatic? It wouldn't be dramatic irony. What would it be? It would be some sort of time travel irony thing.
I don't know. I'm not even sure about irony at all, because that's always such a tricky thing to use or like to say something is.
Well, no, but dramatic irony was always very clear.
Oh, yeah. That's when we know something the audience doesn't.
Yeah, So what would this be? It would be something that the writers are literally dangling in front of us.
It's more like a thread being tied, I guess. Like there's a lot of loose
like
threads, and they're slowly for every issue getting tied, and like
Yeah, but we don't. Yeah. I feel like the problem is that we need to see the picture. You know what it is? It's when people paint something and then they turn it around and then they throw like sand at it and then it like is an amazing picture. That's how I would describe this, because it's like you're seeing all the strokes being made, but you can't connect them. And then you throw something like then you do this one really quick thing and you're like, and then your mind gets blown.
The sands of time.
Oh my God. Did you see that video of that girl who was on like one of those X Factor things? You know, the ones where you have to like, you get like, there's 4 judges and they press like a button if they don't like you. And if you get like all of like 3 strikes or something like that, you're out.
Yeah. One of those talent shows. But I don't think I've seen that one.
Yeah, well, she went there with that painting thing, right? So basically what they're doing is they're seeing this woman and she's just painting stuff and no one can really understand what she's doing because again, it's upside down and it's like just glue kind of stuff that she's putting on there. So the judges are just like Xing her out, just like what is this shit? This is totally stupid. So they're Xing it. And then, but she continues. So she finishes the painting, turns it around, throws the sand on it or whatever. And there's like this beautiful painting and they all feel so shitty. Like you can see them because they didn't wait. They weren't patient enough. They were just like, so like, what is this shit? And then they say, give her a standing ovation and stuff like that. But it's like, it's just so interesting to see that kind of stuff. And
why didn't she come in with the finished painting? You know, then she would have gotten the what's called the approvals immediately.
Because that's not impressive, Humphrey.
I know. So, but yeah, no, that's actually a kind of a nice analogy with it. And most time travel stories can work like that too. Because, you know, you have all these little threads or strokes, as you were referring to.
Yeah.
That we've like seen, and then like, oh, so that's why that stroke was made, because it made the eyelash. You know, like if there's a portrait or something.
Right.
So I gotta say though, look, because again, I always see these thumbnail view, and this was a very, I'm not sure about if I'm gonna say like creative in the sense of, oh, I've never seen this before. It's a very creative like layouts in the first half of this. Actually, no, most of this actually. It's just the very end that it goes back to normal. Just with the circular panels and all the different universes and the floating around.
Yeah.
It's just nice because it really kind of stands out in that sense. All this whiteness because they're just in emptiness.
Neela and Ivar getting their thing on.
Yeah, well, you know, someone's gonna get laid. So yeah, it's just amusing with Ivar because when you consider that he's gone through so much stuff so quickly. I mean, you consider this, you know, he's like a old Sumerian, even if he's like was probably the smartest man alive at the time.
Yeah.
And he's, you know, quick to learn. It's still like, dude, you've gone from, you know, bow and arrows to all of this, and you're just fine.
Dude, I mean, come on. Sex don't change.
That's true. It wasn't the sex in particular I was referring to. What is this strange act?
No, I know that, but I mean, I thought you were referring to the fact that he wouldn't be like in the mood at that point.
No. Well, I guess partly that was what I was referring to in terms of, holy shit, what's going on?
Hey, man, if you're in a bubble universe where there's like no one around, it's just you and this hot lady, and she's all like giving you those looks and, you know, kisses you, are you not going to strip down and, you know, have some good old consensual sex?
Indeed.
While watching your brother have sex with her and grow old with her and her partying and looking at pictures of her dad.
Yeah, I know it's kind of awkward in that sense. But I do love that. I do love the whole setup there in terms of just these worlds and just seeing like little panels of them.
Yeah, I love the one where Neela is Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
It's just so weird, all these stuff. Because literally, you could do anything.
Well, again, that's the thing. They're just having fun here. I mean, I'm sure they had a lot of both Fred Van Lente and Pere Perez were having a lot of like fun brainstorming. Like, okay, what should we have here?
Mm-hmm.
Because again, they don't matter in that sense. They only have to be very different and weird. I mean, there's a Star Wars one too.
Yeah, yeah.
And honestly, the one they start off with too is just kind of amusing to see. I feel just the
Yeah, I was so confused.
I had trouble too remembering like, oh, that's Ivar.
Well, you couldn't really.
Yeah, it's very hard to tell.
How are you supposed to notice though?
Yeah, no, that's the thing. Ivar, I mean, he works well within this series because of the, eventually he has that clothing, and the red hair is kind of like, sort of part of him. But Ivar kind of is just a slight step above Peter Stanchik in terms of like recognizability.
Exactly.
So here we just, when you bloat him, we still can't really like see like, oh, it's Fat Ivar. Like,
right. It took me so long to realize that because I was just trying to look like, wait, who is this supposed to be? And that's also obviously supposed to be Neela as well. And it's just, I don't know.
I just love the artwork of it because, again, it's one of those things, let no one say that Valiant only draws supermodels.
Well, yeah.
No, but it's like, it's very accurately drawn, is what I like. So, because I don't know, I've seen a lot of, I remember someone on YouTube was mentioning, for example, a lot of older, like, superhero artists, they didn't know how to draw teenagers, like, especially, like, teenage girls.
Oh, God, where is this going?
No, it's nothing like that. It's just, so basically they just drew women and had, like, a slightly thinner neck. No, but it's like for where you have characters like, have you ever seen, like, the Teen Titans, like, the comics? Like, the way they're drawn?
No.
Because you remember the TV show, or like...
Oh, yeah, definitely.
They're a lot more like sort of a bit more childish. I mean, teenagers, but a lot more childish than what you'd see otherwise.
Yeah.
But again, you have someone like Starfire who's supposed to then to be a teenager, even if she's an alien and all that. But she's drawn with, an adult woman's proportions. And that's the kind of thing that was like, it's hard to tell that they're supposed to be teenagers. Like even late teenagers, you know what I mean? So like even if you're assuming they're 17 and 18, it's like, damn, they're very well developed for being that.
Yeah.
So I don't know, I just like it when an artist is very clear that they can draw like other kinds of like ages and body types. So but yeah, I don't know, just something fun. And again, yeah, such a sad little life there too.
Yeah, but honestly, there's some neighbors that we had that literally are this life.
Oh really?
Like, oh yeah, like in the old apartment, not like directly, but when we would walk with a dog or something like that, we would always walk past their house and you could kind of see in there and they were just sitting there, shirts off, and just, it was like this. I mean, it was just the constant shouting. It's kind of sad because they kept on getting like new dogs, and it always felt that the dogs were just being not handled well or not, how do you say it? Like they weren't being treated well, and their kids were also like obese, and it's just like you're looking at that kind of family like, there's just something wrong with you. And also just like here, they have that how Ivar's wearing the chick magnet t-shirt. They had a no fat chicks sticker on their car and a shocker sticker.
Oh dear.
And I'm just like, come on, man. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I feel like that's just so weird.
Oh dear. Wait.
Oh dear.
Oh, I did not notice this. Did you notice on the first page, where we see them like the fat versions?
Yeah.
I did not realize that the panels on the sides coincide with the next page. Like you see, like there's a remote and they're watching like sports on the left, and the red stuff on the right.
Yeah.
It matches up with them watching TV above them on the next page. Like I did not get that.
Ah, yeah.
So we were basically looking at that close up, and then we zoomed out now. Like, that's cool. I don't know. I never thought of it. I just thought maybe like they somehow made sense, or
I don't know. But it's fun. It's such a nice idea.
So, but yeah, I don't really know here either because again, it's Not like that it's dragged out. I feel it's as long as it had to be. But again, it's like we said, it's a good story. There's nothing really to complain about. And it just like immediately goes off to like, to the conclusion now.
Hey, yo.
Yes?
Did she have sex with him just to get to his gun?
Oh. No, but she had a gun, didn't she?
No, she didn't, because that's Ivar's gun.
No, but she's
taking it out of his...
No, but he's
taking... What?
No, but she used the gun when she entered the gladiator arena. That's like the gun that used the bubbles.
Oh, okay. No. It is her... Yeah, I totally forgot that she was wearing her lab coat.
So yeah, no, I mean, that would have been an interesting thing. They're like very...
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, because she was saying, afterwards that, I love you, but not you. Not you, the you that you become, that kind of thing. Because I felt like that's something weird to say right after sex, Oh, let's have sex. Oh, that was good. I don't love you though. I mean, obviously there's...
Yeah, we'll get to discuss that in the next issue, the whole drama.
Ooh, well, yeah.
Issue 12. Ivar and Ankh enter the Oblivi 2 to destroy the null generator, only to be attacked by the mistress. We find out Ankh is a woman. Ankh kills the mistress, but it turns out there are hundreds of copies of them that attack, until the real Neela finds Ankh. Meanwhile, Ivar travels through time, killing the mistress clones one by one as he time jumps, finally reuniting with Neela. Turns out the only way to save the universe is for them to never see each other again, and they're not idiots and do it. Current Ivar then shows up in Volume 1 and greets Neela and himself as they exit the bar, where he gets a drink before being taken away by the robed figures, finally escaping in Archer Armstrong Volume 3. Meanwhile, Unity is fighting some weird monster, but it is defeated by Neela, Timewalker, and her sidekick Ankh. Ivar looks upon her in secret and time jumps. So it's the end of what's called Ivar Timewalker, like as a series.
Well, good riddance.
Oh?
No. I would have loved to see more.
Well, again, I do know she will appear a lot more than Neela. I haven't read the comics.
The good one or the bad one? The good one or the bad one?
That's the good one. The actual, Neela Timewalker at the end.
Okay.
Along with Ankh, so I'm glad that they are sticking around.
So he's just going to jail now, huh? Time jail.
Yes. It lasts a long time. But what is time? What is like Yale time for a time traveler?
Yeah, exactly.
Nah, but it's cool. I mean, it's one of those things where, of course, this isn't as big of a deal as the whole, introduction of Archer and Armstrong.
Mm-hmm.
It's still just kind of cool seeing like, oh, hey, yeah, right, they met him right there. So something that was just a fun gag. Like, of course, he's a time travel. He might meet himself. Now suddenly it's like, oh. And yeah, it's going to be really confusing with this whole like keeping track of yourself and the versions of yourself.
Dude, I'm just glazing over this stuff. I'm here for the fun of the story, and that's about it.
So no, that's fun. And we already discussed the thing with Ankh being a woman.
Yeah.
So, but I do like that. I'm a woman. Really?
Why did you give her a deep voice? See, you're putting your masculinity on her again.
Oh, that's not the only masculinity I want to put in her.
See, another thing that I wanted to mention though with Ankh when she said like, she says here a typical mammal without boobs and hair, you're gender blind. If she knows what hair is, why did she talk about Ivar getting shaved and leaving fur on the top?
Because the rat people, like the other mammals, like I don't think there were humans. So I think all the other mammals were fully furred.
Yeah, but then it would just be called fur, not hair.
I suppose.
They wouldn't have the concept of hair.
I suppose you're right. Fred Van Lente, so you just lost yourself a customer. You've already bought
Fred Van Lente, you're fired. No. Could you imagine?
No, I doubt something like that. I mean, for
Yeah,
me,
well,
it's one of the thing is the moment you have something as like as foreign as this, like dinosaur people,
yeah.
it's like if you'll mind me, bringing up like My Little Pony. No, but the whole thing there is, there are no humans in this world.
That you know of.
No, so
Actually, I remember quite well that there's a couple of movies where the ponies
yeah,
are
but that's
suddenly
a parallel
humans.
universe, Mister.
Okay.
No, but the whole thing there is again they have fun with the concept. They actually go pretty far with it in terms of making sure that a lot of architecture and tools actually can be manipulated by hooves and like mouths.
Don't you mean snouts?
Yeah, so mouths too. Sometimes I've seen them like grabbing things and stuff.
No, but isn't a horse's mouth a snout?
No, the snout's the nose part.
Oh, what's a mouth then?
My mouth.
Is it called just a mouth?
Oh man, anyway, I'm not sure. In Swedish is a mule. That's like the whole front.
Yeah,
part.
well, that's the thing. In German, it's also called a maul.
Yeah, but the thing is, a snout isn't the same because a dog doesn't have a mule in Swedish. They have a nose, which is the nose only.
Oh, okay. Because in German, a dog will also have a maul, which is like the German mouth. It's like a mouth that a dog has, or like an animal has.
I guess it's just language difference.
Maybe. Also, I think it's weird that in German, there's a difference between a dog eating something, or like an animal eating something, and a human eating something.
That's kind of nice.
Like but if a human eats something, it's called essen, and if a dog eats something, it's called fressen. It's weird.
Yeah, well, someone decided that we were above them.
Yeah, well.
So no, but no, but my point there was just but even there, then where they're in My Little Pony, where they make sure to like keep all these like things to be like all pony-like.
Yeah.
Including like the little running gag of no one saying anybody, they say any pony. But they let things slip through. Like they'll mention hands or anybody or something like that. Because again, they're human people writing it. It's human.
And then the fans are right there to be all like, in Itchy and Scratchy episode 257.
Yeah, no, exactly.
The ribs, Itchy's ribs were hit twice in the same rib, but it made distinctly a different note. I hope someone was fired for this.
Yeah, it was always stuff like that. Like any mention of anything that shouldn't exist. Because it's like the thing you said with language. Yeah. If they're speaking English, but it's clearly that they're, in Rome or something. We know that they're actually speaking like Latin or something. It's English for us.
Yeah.
But the moment you have like something like that there in like in My Little Pony, and then a character comes in and they're supposed to be like French, but there's no Franz. Again, doesn't matter. It just it's something that we as humans appreciate. I just like having to point out that we as humans, like that's why we're making this. It's humans writing for other humans. You just have a theme set up. Oh, man, I got a little more frustrated than I meant to there. But you know what I mean. It's like.
Yeah.
It's just for fun. Sometimes they're good at keeping the theme going as long as possible. Other times, well, it just didn't work. I'm sorry. It would be more confusing if we tried to come up with a in-universe name for this. If then no one would know what we were talking about.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Do you think the ponies in Ponyville have a toilet, or do they just...
No, they have outhouses. They had that in an episode.
Oh, okay. So they don't just walk around and just...
I mean, the joke's been done many times.
Oh, okay. Like they're just talking and suddenly it just goes...
I'm pretty sure I've seen both comics and cartoons with that joke.
Okay.
You're kind of late there, Chris. 8 years too late.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh my God, has it been going on for 8 years?
Season 8 starting in March this next month.
Jesus Christ.
Over 100 episodes.
I just think it would be so awesome to just like take all
the direct-to-DVD Equestria Girls movies and a feature film last year.
Oh wow! I would love to just go through all the episodes and just randomly put like shit piles falling out of people out of their rumps. You know what I mean? Like actual like horses have. Like they're just talking about something and suddenly in the back you just see, and it just lands on the ground and just. I don't know. I think that would just be, talk about making a YouTube poop. Huh? Oh. All right, let's talk about the comic again for a little bit. Do you think it's cathartic to? Do you think that Neela kind of broke up with Ivar? Because I think it would be kind of cathartic to just be cutting off the head of your ex-girlfriend and punching them and burning them and all that good stuff.
Well, I don't know.
I guess she's so soon after the breakup.
Well, it's just this whole confusion. I mean, we're not going to go into the logistics of the time travel.
No.
But basically, if we're basically seeing Ivar's life, so to speak, like, not in terms of like the time travel, but just his life in terms of experiences. He lost his brother, to his knowledge.
Yeah.
And then he went on, and then he got taken then by Neela when the boon activated. Then he's gone through all of this stuff, falling in love with this woman. And then basically he's, then put in prison for I don't know how many thousands of years or however it works before he comes out again. And after he's done that at some point, and we don't know how far in between him coming out of prison to then, meeting up with Neela in the volume 1. So it's just kind of like this weird thing where it's like, there is a certain, the tragedy of the whole relationship thing is very interesting because they'll never meet again, basically, now. They had their moments where neither of them were truly
there.
Well, yeah, she got to see him when he was in his prime, you could say. This very charming, suave, intelligent man.
Yeah.
And now in the same thing here where he was too, again, not that he was too dumb for her, but it wasn't the man, as she says. You're not the one I fell in love with.
Right. But here's also the problem. So basically, he created her so that she could create him.
Yeah. Don't think about it.
See, yeah, but that's what I mean, right? Right there. Right there.
Yeah, but again, we've talked about it before all the time. I always bring up the Donald Duck comic I read that annoyed me as a kid. So, but yeah.
I mean, you got to elaborate now. Come on.
No, but haven't I mentioned it? I feel I have.
Have you mentioned it on the podcast?
Well, just the quick rundown. The Donald and Daisy.
Donald Duck time travels.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the quick rundown.
Now, but Donald and Daisy go to some archaeological dig, because that's what Daisy wants to do and he doesn't. And then they, while cracking through a rock wall, like a huge full human figure or like a duck figure pops out. It's like, oh wow, like a whole fully remaining like a duck. But according to the archaeologists, it can't be true because it doesn't match what how they should have looked, like Neanderthal ducks.
Right.
And of course, they go to Gyro. He lends them to his time machine because that's just what you can do. And they go for a whole adventure in with dinosaurs and stuff, even though they shouldn't exist, but whatever. And near the end, when a volcano is erupting and they have to run off to the time machine, before they reach the time machine, Donald falls into a bog. And when he's pulled out, he's basically made a mold in this bog of his body falling in, and the lava fills up that mold. So that statue, that figure that they unlocked in the present, was Donald.
Right.
Which again, he would not have had a reason to travel back in time if it wasn't. That's the crux of most of these stories where they're trying to be clever.
Well, it's the grandfather paradox.
Exactly.
Can you go back in time and become your own grandfather?
Ask Fry.
Right.
Isn't it obvious? You are.
I love how in that episode Bender literally just buries himself for 3,000 years.
Well, yeah, that's what would have happened.
Yeah, I know, but I love it because he's like, but I'm a robot, so I can just stay here for 3,000 years and I'll see you guys then when I wake up. And it's just like, oh God, my head. That show was the best show ever.
Well, Ivar could do that too in that sense. Ivar could do that too in that sense. He could outlive anyone and just kind of wait until someone could let him out.
Ivar?
Timewalker. Ivar, a man, a Gilad.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Ivar, no, he's the only mortal of them all.
Which again,
he's the only one who couldn't do that.
I love the whole setup of those three.
All right, can I give a little prediction, to close this off?
Yes, yeah.
Can I give a little prediction of what I think the time prison is?
The which?
what the time prison is.
But the prison, yeah.
Do you know what it is?
Well, it's I'm not sure about like the contents of it, so to speak, or like the actual prison.
Yeah, but have you seen something about it, or
not something newer than what we've seen? But you know, like in Volume 3 of Archer and Armstrong, he's like released from there.
I can't remember.
Because he pops up as like an image, like as a mirage to Archer throughout the first 3 volumes.
Oh yeah, because I thought he was Jesus or God or something like that.
But that's Ivar instead.
Right.
So that's kind of like him communicating through the prison.
All right. Well, okay. So what I'm thinking is, the time prison is a place where time stands still. So you're basically outside of the time-space continuum. So you don't age, but you recognize the world, like basically say you didn't age, but you lived in a cell for 10 years or 1,000 years or whatever, right? So you'd recognize day-night cycles, but they weren't actually affecting you.
No.
So you would basically be in a place for forever, and then when you get out, you could continue your life, but you'd be a totally changed man because you've been in this prison for like 10,000 years, what feels like 10,000 years, even though it actually wasn't.
No, I like that. That would
right?
Not necessarily explain stuff, but it would be kind of a nice justification for him to be as knowledgeable as he is. Because as I was mentioning before, you know, he's a Sumerian who, even though he's very smart, was suddenly pulled into this adventure. So the idea then that after all of this, having understood the concepts of time travel, and then just getting to see all of existence, I guess, would explain why he is so smart in that sense.
Yeah, and also I'm just thinking, like, what would be a big punishment for a time traveler? It's just like, and also the fact that, like...
Oh, do not try... He gets to see... Oh, that's good.
What? Why?
Well, I'm assuming you meant that the punishment is the fact that, you know, he can't actually travel. He can, like, witness, but he can't be part of anything. So he gets to see, like, existence just travel by him, like, travel by his eyes.
Ooh, yeah, that is good, yeah.
Oh, what were you going to say?
I don't know. No, I was going to say that. That's what I was going to say. Make myself sound smart. Smart.
But I don't know, it's just great stuff. It's
yeah, it is.
And I also like the little, it's not really a major detail, but the final 3 pages with the Unity.
Mm-hmm.
So I like the fact that Gilad isn't there because he's still dead. In Book of Death.
What do you mean he's still dead?
In Book of Death.
Oh, God. Okay, this is after the Book of Death, right?
Yeah, I'm assuming so.
Wait, so does Ivar still not know that he's then alive?
What do you
mean? Does Ivar still not know that Gilad is alive then?
Well, he would know, I guess, because, you know, he's in the future as well.
Okay, so at this point he already knows, right?
Well, that's the thing. That's why we kind of were discussing in Book of Death. It's kind of an empty gesture in that sense, because we know from Eternal Emperor and all that stuff that he is alive in the future. Mm-hmm. So we know that, you know, it will work out.
Yeah, everything's gonna work out.
I got better.
I died last night, but I got better. Yeah.
Oh, and also, yes, a little thing there I liked. Well, first 2 things. A little Doctor Who jab. Well, not jab, but just a little joke.
The companion.
Yeah, my preference would be companion. God, no. Trust me. And then that the end is not the end, it's the infinity.
It's infinity, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, good, nice. But yeah.
Good for you. Yeah.
But yeah, yes, super solid, nice end to this adventure. And
definitely.
Again, Ivar Timewalker was a great replacement to Archer and Armstrong in terms of the more comedic adventure-y book. I mean, again, same writer and everything, so it's like kind of just switched characters.
Yeah.
But just really nice and solid. And again, we're getting closer to where I kind of dropped off a bit. So I'm not quite sure what he's been doing, like both him and Neela have been doing since then. So I'm as in the dark as you are in that sense.
You can discuss this episode on Reddit, tweet us, or you can follow us on Facebook. Also, all of our episodes are available on our hosting site Podbean. Links are in the show notes. Catch us next time for
Imperium Volume 3, Divine Imperative.